back to Ben's Den, everybody. We are in week 10. Technically, week 10 ended yesterday, but I'm a little behind. It's been like that the last couple of weeks. And I was not as sharp as I would have liked to been last episode on week 9 Saturday. So I want to do a little back to the future, use my DeLorean, my flux capacitor. The young kids don't know what that means. The older people will. But I want to go back to week 9 Saturday and I want to recognize the West Blue Knights who took down the Manchester City Championship. Somehow I missed that whole section of my notes. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to give West a shout out. Um, they were able to beat Manchester Central 60 to 18, and they beat Manchester Memorial 54 to 21. And West hasn't taken down the city championship since 2009, and they finally get a chance to bring that back to the West Side. And for those that are maybe new to New Hampshire or to the wrestling or just disconnected, whatever. So Bedford used to send their kids to Manchester West, and that was that was a period of time where West was doing really good in sports. Obviously, when you can pull from two talent pools like that, that doesn't stink. And so when Bedford built their own high school, Manchester West had to adjust to the one talent pool and pull in as much as you could from it. And that takes time. And I wanted to give an amazing large shout out to Coach Avery Portnari. Um, just doing a great amount of work over there over the last couple of years and for it to pay off in the city championship here, which, if you're outside of Manchester, that might not mean anything to you. But here in Manchester, where I live, didn't go to school here, but I understand the dynamic. It's a big deal. And, you're talking what, some 16 years without being able to bring that home. And it's a big win. And they've been putting in a lot of work. And one of the common themes that I hear from the officials about the West program is, how respectful and nice the kids are. They compete hard, they're tough, but they have amazing sportsmanship. And again, Coach Avery Portnari, he's just done a great job over there. I'm sure he's got an amazing support staff behind him. I don't know all their names, however, nobody does it alone. And so just a really good year for Manchester West. They're doing some good things. And so again, congratulations. Big things. My apologies on missing it. And they also took the opportunity to acknowledge their seniors. They have Justani, they have Ryan, and they have Sebastian, three seniors at West, and they're doing very well. And hey, listen, those are three good kids. And so there's going to be some big shoes to fill, but West heading in the right direction. So good job out there. All right, so we move back into the future. See, flux capacitor, call back, ding, ding, ding. You got Milford and Portsmouth to start off week 10 Wednesday dual meets, the final dual meet Wednesday of the season. 10 long, hard, grinding weeks. More so for the wrestlers, I think, than anybody, but we're all on it. And so Milford took on Portsmouth and they beat them up pretty good, 53-23. Looks like there was a pretty full lineup. Only two forfeits look, or three forfeits look like Milford had the edge on that. Secret Squirrel, Carter Kuhn, he picks up a tech fall over Kane Davis. I don't know if he's going for a tech fall record or he's just, allergic to pinning kids. But those things make a difference when you get to that tournament feel. 1 point difference, and again, you never know who's in the team running, right? But you want to put as many points as you can. So good job to Mr. Kuhn. Who else we got? So Milford got on the board at 126 with Kieran Lorden over Logan Chase. Got a tech fall there. Woo, lots of tech falls this year with the 3-point takedown. I saw some statistics on it, and tech falls are up and pins are down. So, whether you like it or not, it's good. Hey, listen, I think that number is skewed because the fact is I watch kids all year long. It's gotten ridiculous, to be quite honest. I'm going to rant here for a second, but it's one thing to take a kid down and let him up. Um, working on your neutral game, or maybe that kid is tough on the bottom and you're not going to be able to pin him. So rather than just riding it out, you take the initiative to go and get the tech fall. However, it's getting gross, if I'm being honest. I watched somebody, there's levels to the game. I say it all the time, but I watch kids that'll take a kid down, put him down to his back, and then just get up off of him and do it again. I don't know. I'm not a coach, but if I was a coach, it's not the style I would want. You want to take him down, let him down, twice, three times, nowadays that's 9 points or, like that's enough. Then just stick them. And to do that with some of these kids that don't know anything about wrestling, there's no challenge on it. It's really more of it's an embarrassing kind of procedure. Just, you know, shoot a horse in the if they're injured, right? Like just put the kid on their back and pin them. And then I would recommend you get back to the practice room and maybe grab a teammate that's tough and get something real out of it. Because I don't know that takedown, let them up with those, weak, inexperienced kids. I don't know. Doesn't sit well with me. But and again, that's not a Carter Coon thing. This is a across the board thing. There's a lot of tech falls, and again, I don't have a problem with the tech fall. It's the takedown to the back, let them up. To let somebody off of their back, I don't know. I was coached differently. Um, so, anywho, the match goes on. AJ Craig, he continues to do good stuff, beats Max Hammerstein via fall there, picks up 6 for Portsmouth. Cameron Stickney, a little back and forth here, right? So they got Stickney from Milford, takes on Judah Antonio, picks up a pin there. Freshman Stephen Whistler is having a heck of a season this year. Let me see. Oh, my scrolling's all off. There we go. Sorry. He gets a win over Tanner Herbert. Pin. Yeah. Then Milford or Portsmouth goes on a so yeah, Milford. They go on a bit of a run here at the end. So like 5-6 straight for Milford, 53-23. That's where the difference was at the back end. You had Clancy, Posts, and Lehman all picking up wins there. We got 2 pins and a decision. Post with the decision. So, overall, good match. Milford gets out on top to close out the Wednesday duels. Talked about Manchester West last week having a great day. Well, they kept the momentum going as they took on the Alvin Broncos and put it on them with a 41-35 win there. Bunch of forfeits, I think, is the difference here. So, Alvin's been dealing with some sickness and injuries like every other team, but the first 3 matches here are forfeits. And then you see Manchester West, they pick up a couple of wins. You had Colin Taylor, Aster Sensen? Yes, sorry. And Justani Rivera, he picked up a pin. Those are 3 straight pins, as a matter of fact. And then Ryan Perkins adds a 4th with a tech fall, 15-0. So West goes on a bit of a run. And then them big boys over there at Alvin, you just don't mess with them, right? You had Shane Mackey, Mr. GQ, over Anthony DiGatano. Picks up a pin there. 4 straight pins as we go. Quentin Tetral, he manages to take out Gabriel Guzman. Senior captain Sean Boudreau, he takes out Jaden Gnarly, pin. And then Andrew Wiggins, that's the 4th pin there over John. Can't see it, sorry. My buddy Mike, he took a screenshot. It's just a little small. It's okay. Let me see if I can expand that a little bit. Nope. All right, and then Kyler Cox, 106. We swing around to the little guys. Albert, he gets the job done over Angel Diaz with a tech fall 17-1. Double forfeit at 113, and then probably a full belly, but not feeling very well since Christmas. Timothy Malley, 120-pounder for the day. Usually, I believe 113. He picks up a win over Michelle Zarilla. Picks up a pin there. So again, a couple forfeits. I think of the difference here. 41-35, Blue Knights on top. It's a good way to end out the Wednesdays. Plymouth took on Bow, usually a good match and nothing different here. What do we got? We got coming out of the gate, Plymouth, Jackson Rainier over Ryan Dolder Tough, gets pinned there. Grant Wenhart over Braden Brown at 157, picks up a pin there. Jake Hammond stops the bleeding for Bow as he puts it on Dominic Ciotti with a pin. Nolan Griffin, Emmett Nossman, Jackson Hall. Oh, excuse me. Jackson Hall's not Plymouth. He's Bow. Gavin and Nossman, they both pick up some wins. Galvin with a pin. Nossman with a tech fall. Jackson Hall over Hussein Osarian with a pin there. Heavyweights, Drake Tonaman over Brody Hink by a pin there. Swing around to 106, and it's a back and forth here. You got Mason Morrison from Plymouth over Colin Brassard. That's a pin there. Jaron Coulon at 113 pounds over Casey Petronero via fall. Robert Phipps goes to Sean Fisherty and pin or tech falls that gentleman 17-1. That's at 120 pounds. This is back and forth. Bo Plymouth, Bo Plymouth, Bo Plymouth. And so Josh Roos kept it going for Bo. Gets a big win over Gabe Sargent. Gets a pin there. 132 pounds. Plymouth's Cody Sawyer over Shane Rablis. Gets a fall there. 138 pounds. Jake Coulon. He's got a big win over the other sergeant, second sergeant. He's actually the first sergeant. Sebastian Sargent, who I believe committed to going to Plymouth State, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to stay home in the area, which I think is a really smart idea. So congratulations, Sebastian. And then at 144, the Love Bug comes to town. Beep, beep. Herbie Madden over Alden Partridge from Plymouth with a 7-3 decision. Plymouth takes the win, 46-33. Again, another good match between two tough D3 guys or teams right before the division round. So good to go, man. We're at the good time. Week 10. All right, I'll come back to this one. Let's go Hollis Brookline Bishop Garden. What happened there? And by the way, no notes this week. Just kind of scraping and scrapping through, looking at the big wig stuff, seeing if I can figure something out. This has got terrible. So Hollis Brookline, they beat Girton 53-26. I'll leave it at that. Pinkerton and Londonderry, looks like they had a pretty good match. Looks like a bunch of forfeits played into Pinkerton's way, but they got Londonderry 41-38. Difference there, obviously forfeits. What else we got? Spalding, huh? First year in Division One. They finish off Wednesday dual meets with a double duel or a try, depending on how they set it up against some of the Manchester teams. They beat Central 55-24, Spalding 60-9. They finished the regular season strong on Wednesday night. 2 wins in a row. Their dual meet record, it was 11-7. Again, first year in Division One. That's a good job for the Raiders on their first season there. They had JV States this past Saturday, so I'm interested to see how they did at Timberlane. I'll dig through those brackets for the next episode. Cue up the Dre music. And then D1 States after that. So Coach Kuchar out there doing a great job. Had a great first year. Listen, takes a lot of guts to just jump up to D1 and see what you can do up there. So good job. Merrimack and Campbell, they got after it. Looks like Merrimack 30-31. First half of the dual meet saw it pretty tight, 18-15 with a Merrimack lead. Merrimack had 2 wins via forfeit, 1 via pin. Campbell had a 1 win via decision, 1 win via pin, and a forfeit. And then Merrimack and Campbell, they tied it up in the second half of the duel, 12-12, 2 forfeits. Campbell with 2 pins. Just not enough to climb the hump. 30-21, Merrimack gets it done. Prospect Mountain over Messinic, 42-21. I got to tell you, I was a little worried about Prospect Mountain a couple of weeks ago. I kept looking at the box scores and a lot of forfeits and just not seeing any real action. And I make up that they got a bunch of sickness and injuries. It happens to every team, but it looks like Messinic got a hit also just as hard. They had to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or so forfeits. So Prospect Mountain comes up with a win based on numbers, which again, there's got to be some reward for being able to get the kids there on the mat and be able to be ready to wrestle. So good job to the Mountain team there. Good one from Timberlane. They took on the Concord Tide and actually put it on them pretty good. 51-21's the final score. Let's see. I just can't see the screenshot. So give me 2 seconds to pull up track. Just be a moment. 24 high school boys. Who governs it? Oh, the ever powerful NHIAA. Dun, 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 dun. So powerful that we have members on there that are not credentialed to be there any longer. Yet they're still there. It's kind of weird. All right, let me get to, I was looking for Timberlane and Concord. Bang. Let me pick that boy up there. So Looks like it started at 190. Timberlane got on the board first with Kyle Lindblad over Carl Siriana. Got a pin there. And then Isaiah Puckett comes out, evens the score with a pin over Luke Doro at 215. Wayne Sakakini picks up a forfeit, which seems to have been a trend for Timberlane this year. Swing around to the little guys. Matt Boucher from Timberlane takes out Biswar Darji with a fall in the second period. Big tough. When I say big, I don't mean like height wise. I mean big presence on the mat. Ben Man gets it done for Timberlane at 113 pounds, picks up a pin over Carter Buxton in the first period, about 5 seconds left. Ethan Billabram keeps it going for the Owls with a win over Isaiah Breen. Tech fall 19-1 at the 120-pound weight class. Um, it's crazy. Both mayors of Cradle City are in attendance, Talon Oljay and yeah, Jackson Carter. First up, Talon Oljay. He took on Devin Rivera and picks up a 20-second fall in the 126-pound weight class. Anybody want to bet any money? There was a cradle involved there. Anybody? Anybody? Moving to 132, Peter Morrissey keeps it going again for the Owls with a big win over Owen Gregg, 13-1. So the Owls starting to put it on the tide. Joey Casalvo, also of Timberlane, he picks up a forfeit there at 138 pounds. Not sure what happened to the Tide wrestler there. Dom Lee from Timberlane takes on the other mayor of Cradle City and impeaches him. Jackson Carter goes down by a decision, 13-6 at 144 pounds. And then Cole Seuss at 150 pounds takes out an ever tough Sawyer McCready. Good match, 7-3. Tough score, I'm sure. Max Chung finally stops the bleeding for Timberlane at 150 pounds, or excuse me, at 157 pounds. He takes out Reed Robinson with a 15-0 tech fall. Jason O'Brien comes back for the Owls at 165, beats up on the Red Rider. Riley Holt gets a pin in the second period. And then to close out the night and get the win, well, the win's kind of secured there with a 51-21 score. But Anthony Guglielminetti for the Tide takes on Stephen Fatout, and that's a major at 12-1. So good win for the Owls. Yeah, listen, two tough teams, up and down. You never know how it goes. All right, so what else we got? White Mountain Regional. Let's see. They took on Lebanon, beat them 53-17. And then had out of stater St. John's from St. Johnsbury out of Vermont, 42-21. Take them on up in the big White Mountains. Salem 72-6 over Wyndham, just a total smashing. You know what? Let me shout out the one winner there. Who was it? Cadonnois getting back to track. Salem Wyndham. So the lone Wyndham points come from Jason Scharf at 285 pounds. Gets a pin over Jason McElroy at 1:08 in the first period to prevent the shutout. And a bunch of sixes the whole way down for Salem. The only three I see, or the two threes that I see, are Riley O'Brien over Rocco Ponzini, 4-1 decision at 150 pounds, and then 150. John Vargas of Salem over Nolan Lamb of Wyndham, 6-0 decision. So sometimes you got to take the small victories, and the small victory there is hey, you didn't give up the pin. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So Blue Devils smashed the Wyndham Jaguars. It is what it is. Campbell over Raymond, 35-30. Whole bunch of forfeits. I think 7 of them there. So that's obviously the big difference in the score. Merrimack over Raymond, 42-22. So tough day for the Rams, going 0-2. Winnisquam, Conval, and Franklin got together, but I didn't see any scores there. Battle of the Bridges, Nashua North and Nashua South. So that's where I'm from. I'm from Nashua. Rick Ross reminds me all the time. So I guess a couple years ago, they started what they call the Battle of the Bridges. So the Nashua North Titans and the Nashua South Purple Panthers, they come together and they battle for the bridge. And I like it. It's a cool theme. And actually, through Justin Ware, one of the officials at the NHWA, he reached out to me, sent me the link. They did a great job of the videoing the match, and they had commentary and the camera work and all that, and they did a good job. The camera work was really good. I got to tell you, the Tom King was one of the announcers, and he's a great guy. and he's been around the sport for a long time, and he had another guy with him. I think that there are some other people that may be a little more knowledgeable in wrestling that could participate in that. Just a production critique, if you will. But I'm happy that they take the time to cover it. So it is not a spear or a dagger. It's more of an observation. However, what a great match. I got to watch the video because Justin asked me to take a peek at it and look and see how we did, which I think is very smart. You know, some of us officials, we do film study as well. And so watching the match, you know, Nashua North, they shot out of the cannon 27-6 in the first half of the duel. And when I say the first half of the duel, I mean the first 7 matches, right? So North gets on top. They had 3 pins, 3 decisions, and really looked tough. I really enjoyed watching the video, being able to kind of see the battle of the two teams. Second half of the match, a little bit closer in score. However, not much. And on the other side, Nashua South comes back to make it a match, and they have 30-10 in the second half of the match. Benjamin Byrne came out and just looked like an absolute animal. 14 seconds, I think it was, pinned. Um, but at the end of the day, the Titans survive the onslaught in the second half by the Panthers, and they take the victory 37-36. I have to tell you that I thought Mr. Ware did a great job in the match and really had good control and made some great calls. And just a battle of two programs that continue to try to climb the ladder. You know, South is under new leadership this year, and North has been under the leadership of Coach Arroyo now for a couple of years and doing great things. And so, really cool to see a real tough battle between the two national teams, and congratulations to the Titans for coming out on top. Bedford and Keene, I didn't see any scores, but I did poach something off of the old intranet. It was a good night of wrestling for Bedford. They had senior night and picked up a win over Keene. Not sure the score. Good team effort. 3 seniors got the wins, including the team captain, Tucker Watson, who captured his 100th win of his career. And that's an amazing way to finish the regular season. Bedford was off on the final day of the regular season, which is week 10 Saturday. They and a bunch of other teams were off for the day. So, man, great way to end your career, Tucker. Congratulations. It's been really cool to watch your journey through you know, being the underclassman and following the lead and watching the kids have the things that you wanted and changing your approach to more what you've seen that works from other people and really creating a great senior year for yourself. And I'm looking forward to, you know, kind of watching the next 2 weeks, see how you finish up, man. So again, congratulations and good win for Bedford to close out the regular season. Pelham over Kearsarge. Let's see, we got the Queen, Liz Donovan at 126, picks up a pin over Dylan Selby. Caitlin Zanoni got a decision over Porter Malinowski, 13-9. Baby Ben Maslanik at 115 pins Chris Bolton, 42 seconds. Pelham with a win at 165 by Philip Smith with a pin over Cameron Brand. And Joel Libre won a decision over Brody Malinowski, 6-0. Love seeing when there's 2 names or 2 people with the same name on the same team. Love that. Wins for Kearsarge, who lost the dual meet 48-24, were Justin St. Ange won by fall over Stephen Doust late in the third, and then Ethan Brand over Connor Nutting in the second period. So good battle there between 2 D3 teams. And let me jump back here. So I skipped one, and it was the one that I was at, and it was the Goffstown Souhegan match. And I'm going to bring the track version up just because the screenshot that I took, not so good on that one. Goffstown Souhegan. All right, so we'll call this one the match of the week. Again, I was there. So Goffstown and Souhegan started at 2:15, and I got to tell you, so I haven't been to Goffstown this year. I think I was there last year, but not this year. Actually, I don't even think I was there last year. They were at Merrimack, but they were this year. And hello, doggies. And you know, they just do a great job over there, the Goffstown community. They do a great job with the presentation. It was senior night. They did you know, really good job. I think they recognized you know, some great young athletes on both sides and parents, you know, the whole spiel. It was a good senior night. they got the light down. They do music for the warm-ups, and it really builds the anticipation for what is and was a great match that night. So Sauhegan rolled into Goffstown's building undefeated, and the Grizzlies looked to play spoiler. And so um, they got it going at 2:15, and the flip, because it is important here, the flip. So Sauhegan had odds? No, evens, excuse me. I believe they chose evens as well. And so first up was Antonio Hebert reports to the table at 2:15. Gabe Holt, Sauhegan stud, jumps out there and gets to work. Simply just puts it on him, first period pin, gets the Sabres on the board. 285 pops up. Christopher Finnegan, Goffstown, stops that action right away with a fall over Harrison Town pretty quickly. We're at 6-6. And then Goffstown goes on a little mini run. Willem Pierce picks up a forfeit at 106. Sauhegan, like everybody else, dealing with some injuries, dealing with some illness. So we go there, 12-6 Goffstown. Got Jamison O'Brien over Julian Zumo via fall, 18-6 Goffstown. And then at 120, you have Harold Hieronymus, Goffstown over Owen Kostecki, Sauhegan Tech Falls. So now you got 17-6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have an even match. Sauhegan has to report to the table first. They send Frosty Jack Kaler out there, and Goffstown gives up a forfeit. So they give up that 6 points. And then Sauhegan grabs a couple of matches. Landon Carson at 132 over Gabe Osborne, who bumped up from the 126 to try to avoid Kaler. And so a little gamesmanship there between the coaches. So we jump to 138. Smiley Sauhegan takes out Ian Campbell, major decision 10-2. 144, Austin Silk over Jack DeGloria. So Silk from Sauhegan, DeGloria from G-Town picks up a pin there. See what this one. Stephen Damboyce, 150 pounds, gets a pin over Chase Baby Knuckles at 150 pounds. And Knuckles was not happy with the call. I can say that. Held his composure, but did not appreciate the call. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he has to get up, and he does what he does every time, win, lose, or draw. He shakes the kid's hand and shows a great deal of class. But big win for Dan Boyce there at 150 pounds over very tough Chase Knuckles. 157, Sullivan Conley. He comes out and faces Alex Sardi. Sarf? Sorry, man, that's a good one. Sarfde. One of those ones. Help me out, Alex, next time you see me. Well, anyway, he takes on Sully at 157 pounds, and really good match. Alex comes out, gets a bit of a lead. Well, actually, I think Sully came out, got a quick takedown, and there was a reversal. Sully likes to ride that single leg and hop up too fast, and he falls on his hip and he loses control. A lot of reversals given up by Conley, and he gave up one in that match. And he battled back and wrestled tough. And man, there was this great moment where we're getting close to the end of the period. We're near the edge, and Sully kind of has him on his back, and Alex fights off his back. So Sully just backs off just a little bit, like, hey, I'm just gonna let this period end. And the moment that Alex relaxed, Sully bang hit him, puts him on his back, and picks up a massive 6 points for Goffstown. And then Noah Daly comes out for Sauhegan, beats Noah Womack, Goffstown with a tech fall. And then at 175, Tyler Osorio seals the deal for Goffstown. Darwin Brown Waters steps out for Sauhegan. Too much for Waters as Osorio picks up the pinfall. And then we have the obligatory 119-pound match with Liam Fisher from Sauhegan taking out Alexander Koppel. But the dual meet was in hand for the Grizzlies, 41-39. They play spoiler to Sauhegan Sabres. And I got to tell you this, class acts, both teams. It was a really exciting match to ref. Hometown crowd was into it. I'm sorry to the guy who was at the back of the bleachers who could see under the light when that kid was pinned, and I wasn't calling it. I apologize for that. But the coaches and the teams, just an amazing duel, real hard-nosed competition, great coaching from the side to their kids, and really just class acts, man. The sportsmanship, win, lose, or draw. got a second to talk to Coach Tromby after the match, and he's not all pissed. He understands. You go to battle, you win some, you lose some, and he's already thinking about getting ready for the postseason. Hoping he's going to join the Ben's Den post preseason show for the division um, preview show. So, really, again, match of the week, exciting environment. I'd love to see all gyms like that on a Wednesday, but we take time to get there. And so, that concludes our final Wednesday of the season. It's hard to believe we're 10 weeks in. We're about to hop into the postseason, and lots of great things happening. I'm going to hop to and get the week 10 Saturday done. That includes a couple of quads. Again, a lot of teams off, but I'm going to take some time, shine a little light on our beautiful JV wrestlers, and see how everybody's doing under there. And, just so everybody knows, JV, junior varsity, right? You haven't quite cracked that varsity lineup. There's a lot of the kids that end up at these JV tournaments that are absolute hammers. They just have a little bit bigger of a hammer on the varsity squad, and they're talented kids, man. And so I'm excited to dig through the brackets. I'm sure Timberlane hosted a great tournament as they always do, and we're looking forward to seeing what the results are. And I'm trying to maintain my composure because I'm really excited. I've been on the phone, it feels like day and night for the last week, talking about wrestling. And the next 2 weeks will actually be all day and night, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And so I hope you guys are excited about the postseason as I am. Hope you enjoyed the regular season updates, and I appreciate your forgiveness in the hacking of most of the names, the screwing up of a bunch of the details, and just know that I'm doing my best, and I hope you're doing yours. See you on the mats.